Hey everyone, it's Alexa again. Welcome back to another video. From the roof of the world to the ocean's deepest depths, here are 16 places most humans will never set foot on. But before we get into today's video, make sure that you're subscribed and ring the bell so that you never miss any of our upcoming videos. 16. The Basava Crater. You'll find an astonishing sight in the mountains of Papua New Guinea. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, the cone of an extinct volcano began caving in. Measuring some 3,300 feet deep and more than 13,000 feet wide, the strange structure created an isolated ecosystem, and that became home to more than 40 animal species that went undescribed. The impressive list of critters includes at least 16 frogs, several spiders and insects, and a giant rat, which weighs more than 3 pounds and measures over 30 inches long. 15. La Rinconada, Peru. There are about 50,000 residents of this extremely remote location in the Peruvian Andes, and they must really enjoy the high life. La Rinconada is located more than 3 miles above sea level at the base of a massive glacier. It's the world's highest permanent settlement, but it's a harsh place to live, and not just because of the environment. The gold mining town has no laws, no police, and no running water. Even electricity didn't get there until the 21st century. 14. McQuarrie Island. Located halfway between Antarctica and New Zealand in the southwest Pacific Ocean, the uninhabited island was found by accident in the early 19th century. A small staff of scientists and researchers are based on the island today. Wildlife, including elephant seals and millions of penguins, help to keep the humans company. 13. Bouvet Island. If you really want to get away from it all, consider this place. By most accounts, it's the world's most remote and uninhabited island. Located about 1,100 miles north of Antarctica, almost all of the area is encased by a glacier. Inhospitable weather and a rugged terrain ensure that this will never be a hotspot for tourists. According to our sources, the last documented visit here occurred in 2012. 12. Cape York Peninsula. It's considered northern Australia's largest area of unspoiled wilderness, and it's one of the last such locations remaining on Earth. The vast region is mostly populated by Aboriginal tribes and is extremely difficult to access. 2 roads pass north-south from the Cape York Peninsula to Cape York and are best suited for 4-wheel drive vehicles only during the dry season. Did you know that the tip of Cape York is the northernmost point of the Australian mainland? 11. Surtsey. In Norse mythology, Surtur is a fire giant who engulfs the world in flames during the apocalyptic events of Ragnarok, so it seems fitting that Surtsey translates to Surtur's island from the Icelandic. It was created by a volcanic eruption that occurred more than 400 feet below sea level and reached the surface by 1963. The eruption that produced it didn't stop until 1967. The new island was formed over a few days as the explosions continued. At one point, the landmass measured around 1 square mile. Since then, it has diminished to about half that size. 10. Doong Cave. Located near the border of Vietnam and Laos, it is the largest known cave passage by volume, extending for more than 3 miles. Its total length exceeds 5.5 miles and rises some 660 feet high. The cave is like an ecosystem unto itself, with an interior forest, a subterranean river, and a unique weather system. Some of the world's tallest stalagmites are found here, some of which rise 70 meters from the floor. Experts say the cave could be nearly 5 million years old, but it wasn't until 1991 that it was discovered. Exploration was discouraged by the steep descent, so an official survey didn't take place until 2009. After that, the cave received international recognition. Overall, it's considered to be the world's largest cave. 9. Cape Melville. Researchers in Australia discovered this rainforest in 2013. Cape Melville is a headland located on the Cape York Peninsula. The mysterious rainforest was located at the Melville Range, a small mountain range on the Cape. The group of researchers were some of the few humans to ever set foot in that region, which can only be accessed by helicopter. Several unique species of plants and animals endemic to the Melville Range have been found, including the Cape Melville leaf-tailed gecko. 8. North Sentinel Island. It belongs to an archipelago found in the Bay of Bengal of India. And while this is one of the world's most isolated locations, it has been inhabited for a long time. Experts say that a tribe known as the Sentinelese has occupied the area for an estimated 60,000 years. Attempts at contacting them have been greeted with spears and arrows aimed at the outsiders, which have sometimes resulted in fatalities. Consequently, not much is known about the tribe or their culture, and it will probably stay that way in the future. The Indian government has declared the area off limits. That policy protects the indigenous tribe from unwanted contact that could introduce diseases to which they have no immunity. 7. Gangkhar Puensum. Located in the South Asia country of Bhutan is a majestic mountain that rises nearly 25,000 feet. Its name means White Peak of the Three Spiritual Brothers, and by many accounts, it's the world's highest unclimbed mountain. 4 attempts to scale it in the 1980s failed. The closest that humans have gotten to the mountaintop was a 1999 expedition that made it to a subsidiary peak. This mountain might remain unclimbed for some time to come. In 2003, mountaineering in Bhutan was forbidden. 6. Namib Desert. Located in southern Africa, the name of this coastal desert translates as vast place. And that could be an understatement. It stretches more than 1,200 miles along the Atlantic coast from Angola to South Africa. Overall, it occupies more than 31,000 square miles. With so much space, the area is mostly uninhabited, aside from a few small settlements. The southern part of the desert is known for its sand dunes, one of which rises more than 1,200 feet. Many sources consider it to be the world's largest sand dune. 5. The Challenger Deep. Located in the western Pacific Ocean is the Mariana Trench. It's recognized as the deepest area of the Earth's oceans. It measures about 1,600 miles long on average and is more than 40 miles wide. On its floor is a valley known as the Challenger Deep. Plunging nearly 36,000 feet, it's the deepest known point in the planet's seabed. To illustrate, Mount Everest could fit in here and be completely submerged with its peak still a mile underwater. 4 descents into Challenger Deep have been accomplished. The latest and best known effort was by film director James Cameron in 2012. Did you know that there's evidence to suggest that the Challenger Deep could extend even deeper? If so, humans still haven't gotten to the bottom of this natural wonder. 4. Greenland. Most sources regard it as the world's largest island with an area of more than 836,000 square miles. With fewer than 60,000 inhabitants, this is the least densely populated territory on the planet. The earliest residents were thought to have arrived around 2500 BC. By 1000 AD, the Vikings had arrived. They were followed by the Inuit, the Norwegians, the Danish, and the Portuguese. Northern sections of the country were charted by American explorers in the early 20th century, but most of the icy territory remains unvisited by humans. 3. The Roof of the World. This location is formally known as the Tibetan Plateau, but its more dramatic name is an apt description. It is the world's highest plateau, with an average elevation of nearly 15,000 feet. The Changtong region, located in the plateau's northwestern area, is definitely one of the world's most remote and most unexplored locations. Temperatures can plunge to minus 40 degrees Celsius. The harsh environment makes the region hostile to visitors. Did you know that after Antarctica and northern Greenland, this is the world's third least populated location? 2. Valle do Javari. The Amazon rainforest covers more than 2 million square miles in South America. While the region encompasses the territories of 9 nations, more than half of the rainforest is found in Brazil, and that's where the Valle do Javari is located. It's a large indigenous territory that's larger than Austria and is home to at least 14 tribes that remain uncontacted by the outside world. There are an estimated 19 villages that have been identified only from aircraft. To better protect the tribes, the Brazilian government has restricted access to the area. 1. The final frozen frontier. That is the nickname many scientists have bestowed upon Antarctica. Encompassing more than 5 million square miles, nearly all of this continent is sealed in ice that can measure more than a mile thick, and it's estimated to be 1 million years old. Given that it's the windiest, driest, and coldest place on Earth, it's understandable that so much of the territory remains uncharted. Did you know that it took until 1895 before the first confirmed landing was documented in Antarctica?